Welcome to Schooling. CBSE Class 12 Economics Chapter 8 Infrastructure. Infrastructure. What is the meaning of this word infrastructure? The system around which you see the roads, bridges, railways, whatever we see around are called as infrastructure. So the basic physical and organizational structures which are needed for the operation of a society is termed as infrastructure. It is a support system to the production activity in the economy. In fact, it boosts the economy. So these are some of the examples which are shown in the picture. Roadways, transport, railways, ports, bridges all form the infrastructure. Infrastructure provides supporting services for industrial and agricultural production. It also enhances domestic and foreign trade and commerce. They do not directly produce goods but helps in the production activities of an economy. For example, transport, communication, banking, power, etc. Transport helps the raw materials or the finished goods to reach the destined places. Communication helps in trading and banking helps in providing loans. So energy is required for the production activity. Thus infrastructure does not directly produce goods but aids in the production activities. So these services include roads, railways, ports, airports, dams, power stations, oil and gas pipelines, telecommunication facilities, education in schools and colleges, hospitals, clean drinking water facilities, banks, insurance and other financial institutions. We can understand that there are two types of infrastructure: economic infrastructure and social infrastructure. Economic infrastructure refers to all such elements of economic change which serve as a support system to the process of economic growth. So it helps in the promotion of the economy. It helps us to earn money. Social infrastructure refers to the core elements of social change which serve as a support system for the process of social development of a country. For example, health standards. So why infrastructure is very important for a country? Infrastructure impacts productivity. It induces investment. It generates linkages in production. It is also enhancing the size of the market. It enhances the ability to work and it attracts foreign direct investment. So infrastructure is very important for an economy. So what are the advantages or benefits of infrastructure? Infrastructure increases productivity. It attracts the foreign investors to invest in our country. It enhances investment avenues and profitable ventures. Improvised transport, communication, banking, finance, and inter-industrial linkages are very important so that one industry expands the other. It enhances the market size. It enhances the health of workers, increases their efficiency. Healthcare centers, educational institutions accelerate the ability and efficiency to work. India is emerging to be a global destination for all kinds of outsourcing. For example, call centers, study centers, medical transcription, and such other services, as many English speaking youth are available in India. The state of infrastructure in India. Energy is very important for an economy. It is a vital component of economic infrastructure. It is also very necessary for industrial production. Energy is broadly classified as commercial and non-commercial energy. Components of commercial energy are coal, petroleum products, natural gas, and electricity. Components of non-commercial energy are firewood, animal waste, and agricultural waste. Conventional and non-conventional sources of energy. Conventional sources are coal, natural gas, etc. The non-conventional sources of energy are solar energy, wind energy, biomass energy including energy in the form of gobar gas, geothermal energy, energy through tides and waves. Electricity. Power or electricity is the most visible form of energy for all of us. There are some difficulties or challenges faced by the power sector nowadays. So what are they? Inadequate generation of electricity because the population is growing high. The demands of the people are also growing high. So it is inadequate. Less capacity utilization and losses of electricity boards while transmitting the power. After discussing about power, we come to discuss about health, which is also an important component of the infrastructure. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being. It is not only an absence of a disease, but a sound physical and mental state of the individual. After independence, there has been a large scale improvement in health facilities. There is a reduction in infant mortality rate, decline in the death rate, rise in life expectancy, and we are able to combat the deadly diseases. Infrastructure in India. Government is solely responsible for developing the country's infrastructure. But government's investment in infrastructure is not sufficient. So the private sector has also joined with the public sector. Since our country is only a developing country, we don't have that much of infrastructure or the investment. India invests only 5% of its GDP on infrastructure, less than that of China and Indonesia. The state of infrastructure in rural areas. Majority of India's population is still living in rural areas. Women still use biofuels for their daily energy requirement, including cooking. Women have to walk longer distances to fetch water, where roughly 76% of the population drinks water from open resources such as wells, ponds, etc. Because tap water availability is limited to only 24% of the rural households. The census of 2001 shows that only 56% of the households have an electricity connection and 43% are still using kerosene. Access to improved sanitation in rural areas is only 20%. Future prospects in India. Economists predict that India will become the third largest economy in the world in the near future, but it has to boost up its infrastructure. Infrastructure changes according to the income of the countries. Low income countries need basic infrastructure services and developed economies require more service related to infrastructure. Thus, development of infrastructure and economic development goes hand in hand. Sources of energy. Energy is essential for various purposes like industries, agriculture, cooking, household lighting and heating, etc. Conventional sources of energy. There are two types. Commercial sources. Coal, petroleum and electricity which are bought for value in the market and are generally exhaustible in nature. Non-commercial sources are firewood, agricultural waste and dried dung which are found in nature free of cost and are generally renewable in nature. More than 60% of the Indian households depend on the traditional sources of energy to meet their regular cooking and heating needs. Primary and final sources of energy. Primary sources are sources which are the gift of nature. No change is required before using them. They can be directly used as inputs of production like coal, lignite, petroleum, gas, etc. Final sources are sources which are used as a final product which involves a transformation into final outputs like coal energy into electricity. Use of solar energy in Thane. Solar energy is used on large scale in Thane city. Use of solar energy has resulted in cost and energy saving. As we are in a tropical region, it is better to use solar energy. In this city, solar energy is being applied to heat water, power traffic signals, and advertising hoardings. The experiment is led by Thane Municipal Corporation. It has made compulsory for all new buildings in the city to install solar water heating system. Some challenges in the power sector. Energy provides basic amenities of life to the entire population of a country. Energy generated at various power stations is not totally used by the consumers. It is also consumed by the power station itself, and some are getting wasted in transmission. Some of the challenges that India's power sector faces today are India's installed capacity to generate electricity is not sufficient to feed an annual economic growth of 9% because population keeps on rising and the demand also keeps on rising. At present, India is able to and only generate 20,000 megawatts a year. Some challenges in the power sector are installed capacity is underutilized. State electricity boards or the SEBs which distribute electricity incur losses which exceed 500 billion due to transmission and loss in distribution and wrong pricing of electricity and other inefficiencies. Private sector is yet to come. High power tariffs and prolonged power cuts have made the people very unhappy. Thermal power plants are facing shortage of raw materials and coal supplies. Health. Development of health infrastructure is important for a country for production of goods and services. A healthy person is an asset and has more ability to work. At the village level, hospitals are known as primary health centers. Large number of hospitals run by voluntary agencies and the private sector are equipped with doctors and paramedical staff trained in medical pharmacy and nursing colleges. Private sector health infrastructure. Majority of the hospitals and 60% of the dispensaries are run by the private sector in India because there is no sufficient fund for the government to run government hospitals. Private sector has also been contributing significantly in medical education and training, medical technologies and diagnostics, manufacture and sale of pharmaceuticals, hospital construction and medical services. The system in India. India's health infrastructure and healthcare is made up of a three-tier system, that is in three layers. Primary healthcare. Identify, prevent and control the health problems. Food supply nutrition, sufficient supply of water, basic sanitation and provision of essential drugs. Maternal and child health care, immunization against major infectious diseases and injuries. Auxiliary nurse midwife called as ANM who provides primary health care. Primary health centers which are in the villages, community health centers and sub-centers. Secondary health care. Critical patients are not managed by the PHCs which are there in the villages, but they are referred to the secondary or tertiary hospitals with better facilities for surgery, X-ray, electrocardiograph (ECG). They offer better healthcare facilities and are mostly located in big towns. Tertiary healthcare. Hospitals having advanced level of equipment, medicine and which are capable of undertaking all the complicated health problems are called as tertiary healthcare. Many premier institutes which not only impart quality medical education and conduct research but also provide specialized healthcare, example All India Institute of Medical Sciences, AIIMS, Postgraduate Institute, PGI, Chandigarh. Indian systems of medicine. It includes 6 systems: Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, Naturopathy and Homeopathy, together called as Ayush. At present, there are 3,529 ISM hospitals and 24,943 dispensaries and 6.5 lakhs registered practitioners in India. Medical tourism, a great opportunity. Foreigners visit India for liver transplants, dental and even cosmetic care, etc. Our health services combine latest medical technologies with qualified professionals for cheaper costs as compared with abroad. In 2004 to 2005, as many as 1.5 lakh foreigners visited India for medical treatment. This figure is likely to increase by 15% each year. Health infrastructure can be upgraded to attract more foreigners to India. We have come to the end of this chapter. I hope you would have understood about this chapter. For more videos on social science, sociology and economics, please watch Schooling on YouTube. Like, share, comment and subscribe Schooling. Thank you.